Okay, we've got our top 3 finishers from today's Supersport race here at Road Atlanta. Our winner today, again for the second day in a row, PJ Jacobson. Second place, his teammate Corey Alexander, and third place, Jake Lewis. We'll get started with Jake. You were on the podium in this class last year at New Jersey. I remember that, right?
Yeah.
You've had a really poor season so far on the bagger, and I know you were anxious to get in here and ride the 600, and you had a really good weekend. So has it changed a little bit for you, more positive?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of what my goal was for this year, because I knew our hooligan bike for Team Saddleman was going to be good, and then the Supersport bike is really good. So at least that gives me 2 classes to be competitive in, even though the bagger's been terrible. But yesterday, I qualified good, but the race I just struggled big time. I couldn't even get within a second of my lap times, really, and it was a little bit frustrating. I finished good ways back from these guys, but still salvaged a 6th, and then today, it was a good race. I was happy to get 3rd and get some good points, even though little guy PJ here went win 1. He's going to be tough to beat this year. That team and the bike and him are really, really good riders, and then a good weekend for Corey and their whole team. But just a big thank you to George Nassani. I called him in the wintertime and told him I wanted to ride Supersport again because I wasn't completely happy with my results in this class last year. So I think I can improve on that and give it another go, even though the class is super stacked and going to be competitive all year.
All right, well, congrats. Second place today, Corey Alexander. He was 4th yesterday. You're in a good position leaving here with the championship the way it is. And it looked like you were starting to close in, and then there was some issues with traffic that kind of, at that point, were you like, okay, it's not going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think at a certain point, honestly, if Jake wasn't coming, I probably wouldn't have been pushing so hard, but I also knew I didn't really have any room to just kind of chill out. So that forced me to keep pushing, and then, PJ would come back a little bit every time I'd see my board go to 0. So, when it comes down to it, having 2 Rahal Ducati motorbikes on the podium is especially 1-2, I think speaks volumes, more importantly than trying to make a pass or something like that, catching them. So I don't know if I would have really taken that risk. It was pretty treacherous out there, and I tried to hit the identical marks the whole race. So to go offline at all, even past those lappers, was a little bit nerve-wracking because you didn't really know what the track was going to be like if you got off your normal line.
After Daytona, we probably weren't expecting you to go this well this soon, but everything sort of changed. Was it a matter of having some tests and getting the bike more comfortable for you?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Honestly, no. I think it's no secret at this point. There was a lot of changes after Daytona. Fortunately, it went bad enough that we needed to make some really big changes and make them quickly. So the team, invested a lot. Graham himself, had to probably go into the piggy bank a little bit and bring in some more support for the team to make this stuff happen. And Bobby and Simone from Ducati Corsa, they really put a lot into this as well to make sure that, we get a Ducati up front. It's important for the brand and just for the whole project to make sure that it succeeds. We have a lot of great partners and stuff like that. It's not just, it's not rich guy racing where it's just like the results don't really matter. We have to perform and make sure that the people that are supporting us are happy. So, like I said, I think that speaks volume based on the amount of turnaround there's been. For me, I never knew what to expect just because of my size, and I know I got a lot of things working against me, but, I think we all expect PJ to be the guy that's kind of the benchmark, based on his resume and how good he is on these little bikes. So, yeah, really, really happy just to be up here for sure. I surprised myself on Friday. Wasn't expecting to be that fast. And then, the race yesterday, I was a little bit bummed out because I didn't think we were going to be so down on speed on the straightaways. And I think if you watch the race, it was pretty evident that, even if I got up to the back of those guys, I wasn't gonna be able to do anything because they were just going to motor back by me. So I was happy when it was raining this morning.
All right, well, good job. Our winner today, PJ Jacobson. Winner yesterday, winner today. Perfect points total leaving here. And you obviously showed that you were fast in the dry and fast in completely different conditions with how wet it was today. How tough was it? Is it from in here? It looks really difficult. I'm sure it's even more so out there.
Yeah, I feel like it was a very fast race. Like between the 3 of us, I think our pace was super fast. To be honest, when I kept looking down at my lap timer, and it's like instead I'm being caught instead of opening a gap is not a good sign. And then, Corey has Jake doing the same behind him, so that's not a good sign. So you just keep pushing and pushing, and I feel like our lap times were really fast, so we were kind of, I felt like near the limit and stuff. I don't know how they felt, but they were pushing me and kept pushing me, so it was a really good race. And like if we were going out in Superbike right now, we'd be up there doing the same thing, all three of us. So I feel like, I got the W again today. So it's really good to have it in the dry and in the wet, and it's kind of a perfect weekend. You don't really get these, so I guess I'm on a high right now. I'm just gonna wait for the low weekend, but I'll just keep on riding this out right now. But the team has done a great job. The whole Rahal Ducati team. We have great sponsors, XBEL and Roller Die. So it's been great. And then having Richie come on board, and then also getting help from Bobby and Simone at Ducati Corsa. So it's been a huge thing for the whole entire team. And I think that we've made a huge step with the right people behind us and getting everything organized and in the right direction. So it's been a really positive weekend for us over there.
Okay. Any questions? I just got one for. Oh, go ahead, Matthew. Here, let me hold on a second.
PJ, did you find more rain as you went on, or did it slow down? It looked like there were a lot of puddling in some corners. It looked like it could be really sketchy. What was your experience with it?
I think at the start, it was a lot more rain, and then especially down like in the S's and stuff is a little bit sketchy. But I feel like it started to lighten up quite a bit at the end there. But the puddles were still there, but the rainfall was lightening up a little bit. So I feel like we just started going faster and faster, But yeah, it was still a little bit different than this morning, though. Actually, like I felt like the track was a lot more slick, honestly, and especially in all the areas like 7, 10, 5. So it was a little bit sketchy, and I kept losing the front a lot. So I was kind of on the limit the whole time with the front. It felt like I was riding on ice, but yeah, I just tried to bring it home. But yeah, it definitely was a good race between the three of us, and I think it was very fast.
Just for Jake, a real quick one. Jake, so Rick Matheny's with you now. Is he your crew chief?
Yeah, full-on crew chief. I've known Rick since Weir National days, but I've never worked with him, and he worked with Gillum for a long, long time. And when I called George, that he's like wants to get everything in place so quick, and he called me and gave me 2 options and told me to decide by the end of the day who I wanted my crew chief to be, and I picked Rick, even though he hasn't been around the paddock in probably 3 years. I just know his history. And on the 750, honestly, you don't really change a whole lot, just suspension and stuff like that. And I had 2 days on the bike at Eagles Canyon in kind of mixed conditions, so I didn't really have a whole lot of time on the bike before this weekend. So on Friday, we were kind of behind the 8 ball and changed some stuff. And then, like I said, in race 1 yesterday, I struggled big time, but we knew the rain was coming, but we need to improve in the draw for sure over race pace. And we were looking at the data after yesterday and found some things and have some ideas to try. And Barber will be nice. It's going to be the only class I'm riding at Barber, so my full focus will go into that, which will help, I think.